A blended affair on the air right now. Here's your host, Michelle Meow.
Welcome back to Swirl, your A through Z, covering the LGBT, LMNOP, and everyone in between show. I'm Michelle Meow, your host. Like us on our Facebook page, search Swirl Radio. So we hear a lot in the media and also the LGBT media about what it's like to be gay, to be denied the right to marry our partners, and even what it's like to be a fantastic gay dad like Neil Patrick Harris. But what we hardly hear about is the very real and painful issues that affect the Black gay community. Our next guest is the producer of You Are Not Alone, a documentary that profiles Black gay men and depression. Let's welcome Antoine Craigwell to Swirl. Antoine, welcome to Swirl.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Yeah, we were very excited to be speaking with you. Also when I was thinking about our special Black History Month, I really wanted to profile someone who was going to be able to tackle some of these topics that have not been covered. So as a Black gay man, what are some of the major issues that affect the community?
From my research for a book that I'm working on, I'm trying to get a publisher, and which some of the themes that are explored are discussed in the documentary. There are issues of sexual identity and racism, sexual expression. There are issues of sexual abuse. There's the three sides of an HIV diagnosis, and because we know that today, the CDC is reporting that the number of young black men or men who have sex with men has plateaued at about 50,000 a year. And there is also those in the communities around the country who are older, who are black gay men who are getting older. And some of them are older and living longer with HIV. And so for all of these different areas that have emerged, we are seeing that if they're not addressed because of stigma, because of discrimination, and the church and the role of the church, the role of religion particularly, and the persistent homophobia that exists, then a lot of people are dealing with depression. Some acknowledge it, some know it, some don't know it, but they just go through living their lives as though, they don't really know what to do.
And do you think that that's the reason why we feel that there's this, that the Black gay voice is somewhat invisible in LGBT media? Or do you feel that, the media just doesn't reach out? Or is it a little bit of both?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, but I also think that there could be a number of different ways of looking at this. But overarchingly is the sense of inferiority that exists, that how black men or black gay men are viewed as inferior. And so the mainstream media only focuses on the white community. So there's an element of racism that permeates and reaches all the way down. So for a young black boy or a young black gay boy who's trying to come to terms with his sexuality and his sexual identity and struggling with the fact that he's young, he's black, and he may be gay, may or may not be gay, he's already facing the racism from the world around him. And how much more now does he have to deal with when he comes to realize that he's gay or he likes another boy, and the world still does not accept him, so he's got one more on top of that. As a point of fact, you're finding that there are a number that New York City, for example, where I reside, their Department of Health reported in 2009, and which was reaffirmed by the CDC last year, that the numbers of young black gay men between the ages of 13 and 29 who are HIV positive was just simply astronomical. And it's not being paid attention to. Mm-hmm. Now, what we're hearing about a lot is the treatment methodology, treatment paradigm. It's the prophylaxis. It's the abstinence. Well, not so much abstinence, but knowing who I am makes me stronger. But yes, it does not look at the underlying factors that still exist in our communities that
Absolutely.
Talk about the issues of why somebody may be descending into depression.
Absolutely. You brought up young black gay men, and I wanted to talk about, someone like Frank Ocean, who came out and is a very popular musician and, very successful in that regard. But you also have artists such as Azalea Banks and Chris Brown who throw the hurtful and very dangerous, F word around. And, how does that play into making it difficult for young gay black men to come out and to feel positive about themselves?
Well, let's examine the Frank Ocean situation that occurred about June or July last year. Okay, he was about to launch shortly after he declared that he was gay, or he posted this Tumblr, the few lines on Tumblr about being involved with somebody since he was 19. Shortly after that, he released his album. So it's still questionable as to whether that was a deliberate so that he could garner sympathy and attract attention for his album. Because after all, that takes priority for him. I'm not quite sure how, and I really don't feel comfortable about how he went about it. So it's a sense of like exploiting the community by saying you're gay and you're going to drop an album right after. Okay, as if to say, okay, I'm gay, so I expect all the gay people, all the people who are gay like me, to buy my album, and my album sales go up. Yeah, that is not fair.
I understand. I understand that point of view. At the same time, though, he became the subject of this very, homophobic slur that's being thrown around by his own community, the black community.
Well, but okay, and you know what? Young black gay men, or even older black gay men, still have to live with this every single day.
Right.
And Chris Brown or 50 Cent or any one of the others, very often there is research to show that it is that some of the people who are the most virulent and the most vehement homophobes are the ones who themselves are struggling and trying to keep their own sexual identity and their sexual practices secret.
Which actually you cover in the documentary that we're going to play a clip of when we come back from the break. Antoine, can you stick around? After the break, I would like to play a little bit of the documentary as well as talk to you furthermore.
Thank you. Certainly.
We'll be right back. Michelle Meow with Swirl. We'll be back after the break.